Hey, good morning, East Texas. We have a line of severe thunderstorms that are moving through, but right now, East Texas, we have one severe thunderstorm warning that's popped up, and it's right here in Smith, Upshur, and Wood County on this line. So we also have highlighted here, all this in red is our tornado watch. Now, these counties have this tornado watch that goes until 4 a.m., and we already have a few on the back end of this that have actually been, it looks like, dropped since that line has moved through, and we're then out of the threat. So all of our counties highlighted here in red. Once again, that's our tornado watch, and that goes until 4 a.m. But I'm here with Sarah Blue, and I'm gonna have her zoom in right here on our thunderstorm warning so we can take a closer look at this. So what we're looking at here is there's a little bit of a bowing segment you can see highlighted. So what that means is that the main threats with this would be gusty winds, and the National Weather Service has told us that in this severe thunderstorm warning, the reason that they've warned it is that we could have gusts in the storm up to 60 miles per hour. That's radar indicated, so nobody has yet seen those winds or taken those, but it has been radar indicated, so we want to go ahead and make sure that that's a warned storm, as well as large hail. We're talking about hail up to 1 inch in size. That's also on the criteria to have a severe thunderstorm warning. So if you're in Mineola, you might be looking out the window and seeing some heavy rain as well as some lightning. Gilmer, you're in a first little band, but it's headed your way. If you're in Tyler, you're not in it just yet. You're right on the leading edge, so maybe getting some lighter rain behind it, though a heavier pocket of rain and some lightning as well, maybe some hail in that. That'll be moving towards the east. That's coming at about 50 miles per hour as well. I'll have Sarah zoom in just a little bit more on that. We can see some of the smaller towns that are in this as well. Browning right on the edge of that. Winona is in that severe thunderstorm warning as well. Hawkins, Lindale, New Harmony, the storm is knocking at your door, so it's going to be here soon. But if we kind of look at this storm, you can see it's not very wide. Thankfully, this is a thin line, and once again, moving at about 50 miles per hour, so not dropping a whole lot of rain out of this storm. We're thinking about, or we know it's about a 1/4 of an inch to a 1/2 an inch of rain in this system. So I'll have Sarah zoom back out just a little bit and kind of show us this whole line that we're looking at. So it's stretching from up close to Arkansas all the way down. It's moved through Waco. So as well as we're going to clip maybe Nacogdoches. We can see there's maybe a cell in Nacogdoches forming right now. Our Titan indicators showing that maybe there's some hail in those storms as well. Maybe a little bit of rotation here. Also, that could be some gusty winds. These Titan indicators are picking up maybe gustier winds as well. So what I'll do is have Sarah zoom in on this one down here. We'll kind of look at this smaller cell as well and just give you an idea. Maybe if you're in Palestine or Alto, we'll click on this one. This goes ahead and shows us maybe just an idea of hail size as well. So, or it actually might have just gone away. So what those do show is that there might be a little bit of hail, maybe up to a 1/4 size. We saw that they had those yellow arrows on that indicator, which means that the updrafts are relatively strong. So that means that we could see hail that forms larger, because if the updrafts are stronger, the hail carries up and down within these storms before falling, which means that the hail would be a little bit larger and creating a bigger impact as well. So we also have one here in Alto, but you can see green would mean that it's a little bit of a smaller hail impact as well, so not as much. See there, smaller hail, that just indicates that that could be correct, and then probability of hail maybe not as high as well. So you can see the wind impact is low in this storm, so thankfully that confirms for us that this storm is just now forming. So if you're in the Nacogdoches area, moving towards the east again, so St. Augustine, Broadus, Center, this storm is headed towards you if it continues to materialize, but this is out in front of our leading storm and our main threat. So I'll have Sarah go ahead and zoom back out for us one more time. We'll take a wider look. Again, we are cutting in having this stream because we wanted to talk about the severe thunderstorm warning. So we have our tornado warning, which goes until 4 a.m., but the severe thunderstorm warning, this goes until 3:15. We'll take a closer look at that one, zoom in a little bit more, looking at the area that we're in. Once again, this is for Smith, Upshur, and Wood counties. So this goes down to about White House area. And if you're moving towards the east, you can see not quite to Longview, but like I said, this edge of this storm right here, you can see just on that latest scan moving a little bit further to the east, that segment that bows out a little bit could have the strongest wind gusts on the front side of that as well. So we were talking about 60-mile-per-hour gusts there. Thankfully, if you're in Tyler, if the Tyler area, it looks like the line back towards that is weakening just just a little bit. But if you're in Gilmer, Mineola now on that back edge, but headed towards Gilmer now, could be getting some gusty winds if this continues to develop. Maybe Longview in the next hour or so, maybe getting some of that as well. So this severe thunderstorm warning does once again go until 3:15. We have no indications from the National Weather Service. I have my computer over here that this storm will be continued to warn as it continues to go. Let's see, we have some ham operators that are standing by as well to keep an eye on this storm. The good thing about these storms is that we do have people out there that continue to spot these for us, so we can get spotter indications on these storms. Those radar indications mean that that's just what our radar is picking up. So if there was, for say, some radar indicated hail or those radar indicated wind gusts, it means that that is not somebody out there currently taking those measurements or seeing that hail themselves, but our radar picking it up. So we do have people out there, no spotter indications just yet, and I would say it is a little bit harder to spot at night as well, just because of course, the reduced visibility and it being dark outside. So thankfully, not a whole lot yet with this storm. I'm going to go ahead and toss to Sarah Blue. Sarah, do we have any updates? Do you have anything that you've seen from the National Weather Service possibly?
Thank you, Savannah. We actually just got an update in from the National Weather Service. This is from the Storm Prediction Center, so it is an office within the National Weather Service. It's talking about the tornado watch that we currently have in effect. I'm going to go ahead and turn that back on. They expect another watch to be issued before we see this expire. So there's a possibility this might be extended until after 4 a.m. today. So again, that tornado watch is all of the areas that are highlighted in red. That goes all the way out toward Palestine, stretching up toward Jefferson, Texarkana, and up into Arkansas. Right now, Arkansas is where we are seeing the most intense of those storms. However, still at the southerly end of this line of storms is what we are currently watching, and there is a chance that we could get some more severe weather out of this. According to our most recent update, we're still tracking the possibility for all types of severe weather, so that includes damaging winds, hail, and the potential for tornadoes. I'm going to zoom in here on our severe thunderstorm warning. This does go until 3:15, so we have about 30 minutes left on that warning. For this, we're tracking very gusty winds and the potential for some hail. You don't want to be outside in this. You want to wait until that storm passes through. It is moving rather quickly, though, so I'm going to put it in play real fast. You can see how quickly it's cruising on through East Texas. Right now, just kind of getting to Gilmer. It should continue all the way through Jefferson in the next little bit. Right now, like I said, we're tracking some hail with this. The National Weather Service said up to an inch in diameter and a 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. That is enough to cause damage that could knock down some tree limbs. So be careful if you are outside, or if you're waking up tomorrow morning, you may see a tree limb on the ground, or it may impact your power. So make sure that you are staying up to date with that. Hail is pretty significant, or earlier I said an inch in diameter. That was incorrect, excuse me. That is a quarter, the size of a quarter, so that's about the size of your thumb. That could cause some damage to vehicles, and also watch out for that wind damage. I'm going to go ahead and zoom out here. We can see that line of storms again moving very quickly as it continues through East Texas. We saw some decent lightning out when it was closer to the DFW metro area. We're still seeing that continue. The storm looks like it's kind of widening where we're seeing that severe thunderstorm warning. So that's north of I-20 near Mineola and Gilmer. It's kind of widening out, which is going to give us a little bit more of a strong storm at that point. At the moment, we are seeing the entire line kind of bow out to the west a little bit, which is less conducive to severe weather. If it were bowing out to the east, so going this direction instead of that direction, that's what we would look for that. Overall, though, I expect a lot of gusty winds out of this system. Out to the south, out toward Athens and Palestine, that storm system isn't quite as widespread at the moment. However, because it's so small and intense, or I should say skinny and intense, that's going to give us a very high probability of damaging winds. We could have a straight line wind event come through, and that again could cause damage to vehicles and to roofs, and that could again knock down some trees. This is moving out to the east rather quickly. I'm going to put it back in play. Moving out, it should get to Palestine pretty quickly. That the core of that storm line out toward Jacksonville here pretty soon. We're seeing some hail with that. I'm going to see what our Titan indicators say for our estimated hail size. That looks like it's coming in at about ½ inch in diameter, so that is large hail that could cause damage to vehicles. Don't go outside to move your vehicle, but if you are ahead of this storm, so areas toward Nacogdoches, Mount Enterprise, Center, and Lufkin, I'd recommend bringing your cars if you have a garage or moving them under cover to protect them from this hail. We're also tracking some gusty winds on our wind impact. That's a 9 out of 10, so very gusty winds at the moment. All right, I'm going to take a wider look out here. Let me just clear that off. All right, moving back out, we're seeing another line of storms start to form out just north of Houston. That's going to continue to move up to the northeast. So I'm going to put it in play here. So we're going to see those storms pop out toward Huntsville at the moment, but they'll make it out toward Groveton, Lufkin, Nacogdoches, and out toward Center here in the next several hours. Overall, based off of how this storm is moving, it came in just as our weather model suspected it would when we were looking at them earlier today. So it should clear out by the time we get to maybe 5 or 6 later tonight. It is moving rather quickly, but because of that speed, that is going to give us potential for more intense thunderstorms, like we're tracking here, where we're seeing that severe thunderstorm warning for Mineola, Tyler, and in Gilmer. Again, that goes all the way through 3:15, so you have about 15-ish minutes left on that. That's going to continue to move out to the east. We're seeing a lot of lightning associated with this cell right now, all the way up toward the Texarkana area and the Arklatex, stretching all the way back toward, there we go, toward Palestine, Buffalo, and Centerville. We're seeing some hail with this as well. The National Weather Service, again, based off of our most recent, we just got something in our chat. It looks like spotters are reporting dime-sized hail near the city of Hideaway, some pea-sized hail north of Mineola. So we're definitely seeing some decently sized hail out of this storm. Again, all types of severe weather are possible with this system. As it continues through East Texas, it will pick up some of the humidity that we had in our region over the past couple of days, and that will help the storm to kind of spring a little bit bigger. Think of it like fuel in a car. If you get more fuel, this car can go for longer, and that's kind of what's happening here. So again, we're going to see that continue to move out to the east as we get over the rest of the evening here, I should say the morning. It should clear out close to maybe 5 or 6. But again, we're tracking that. The main thing that we're seeing right now is that thunderstorm warning, but now we also have that tornado watch as well. So it's not a tornado warning. We don't have a tornado on the ground. We just have all of the ingredients present to make a tornado. So you want to make sure you are staying up to date with us here on CBS19 and staying up to date with all the most recent weather events. That way you can stay weather aware. I'm going to toss things over to our forecaster, Savannah Hale. Savannah, what are you seeing in the National Weather Service chat right now?
Well, same thing that you were kind of saying. We're talking about smaller hail in some of these storms. Thankfully, we haven't seen anything super big, so that's positive. We were seeing earlier, of course, the potential for inch-sized hail or quarter-sized hail. That was coming out of one of these larger storms as well, but we can see this one that we've got this thunderstorm warning on starting to weaken slightly. When they break apart like that, that's a good thing. And then once again, this line down here that Sarah was talking about being smaller and thinner as it moves quicker. Thankfully, if you're on the backside of that, this line is all you have to worry about tonight. So if we take a wider look one more time, we can see that those counties that were near Emory, we've got counties up towards our northwest. Those counties have since been dropped from that tornado watch. Thankfully, once we again move through this line, some of our counties are going to probably start getting dropped from that line. Now, like Sarah was saying earlier, as this continues to move, the National Weather Service does have the chance to prolong it as it moves further to the east. We do have some, of course, indication that there's a lot of lightning in this storm. That could mean hail as well. We've got some Titan indicators showing maybe some gusty winds or rotation. The main threats for these storms, of course, was the gusty damaging wind, which we talked about earlier, being up to 60 miles per hour right now, is what maybe some of our radar indicators were telling us. So you can see, thankfully, our strongest portion up to our northeast. Once again, this is where we saw the elevated risk for severe weather on our National Weather Service map. So what we've been showing you over the past couple of days, those grids that show the marginal and slight and severe weather, that is where we were seeing the strongest chances up in this northeast corner. And you can see that pretty much correlates. If you look here, we've got a thicker band of that weather, and then down here where we have this thin line. Now that doesn't mean that the thinner line can't have damaging wind and hail. You see a lot of lightning right here moving towards Jacksonville. That can indicate some hail as well as this Titan indicator with those strong updrafts. Like I was saying earlier, the stronger the updrafts, the larger the hail can get as well, and that can cause some damage. So that doesn't mean that just because the line is thinner that you should just throw caution to the wind. We want you to, of course, be cautious, but up here where there's a bit thicker of a line, that gives us more chance as well to have those stronger storms. So we're going to take a closer look again at the severe thunderstorm warning. Once again, we have about, let's see, it's 2:53, so 15-20 minutes left in this system here, or in this warning. It doesn't look like, I've got my laptop over here, it doesn't look like the National Weather Service maybe has said anything about extending this thunderstorm warning, which is a good thing. Does look like, once again, Gilmer now in that thunderstorm, Mineola on the backside, Tyler not in it just yet, but thankfully the slight bit of thinner storm over here is what's going to move through Tyler. Longview not to it just yet. I'll have Sarah zoom in a little bit more. We'll see where some of our smaller towns are. Gladewater not quite in it yet. Diana, you're in the front portion, but you still have a little bit to go. Little Hope, you're in it. You could probably see lots of lightning if you're looking out the window. Or City in it as well, moving towards the east, so Walker's Mill is going to be in that soon. Jefferson as well. Longview once again in the next couple of maybe 30 minutes to 45 minutes. I'll have Sarah zoom out, and then maybe we can put a tracker on this system where our severe thunderstorm watch is, and maybe drag it at about 50 miles per hour so we could see how quick this is going to be moving towards the east and some of our towns that could be getting that. So she's put that at about 50 miles per hour. Gilmer in just a couple minutes, about 10-ish minutes. White House at about 3:03. It looks like Jacksonville at about 3:20, so moving that direction. White Oak at 3:21, so in the next 30 minutes. Longview at about 3:40, so you've got a little bit more time if you want to get out and maybe protect your cars. Move those before the storm gets to you, just in case of any hail. And Crockett, if this develops down here, it looks to get to you at about 3:45. So mainly you could hear some rumbles of thunder with this. Again, we could drop some hail. Some of us have been seeing, we've had some spotters indicate that we've seen anywhere from pea-sized hail to I think maybe dime-sized hail is what Sarah was saying. Yes, dime size in the city of Holloway. It looks like brief pea-sized hail in northern Smith County, as well as pea-sized hail in Mineola that lasted about 5 minutes. So overall, we're not seeing much large hail with this storm just yet. That doesn't mean that as it moves to the east, it can't continue to develop, especially as it makes its way into other states. But thankfully, we are glad to know that it's not super strong at the moment and not dropping too much, not a whole lot to be worried about at the moment, other than the severe thunderstorm warning. Once again, that's for Smith, Upshur, and Wood counties right now. We also have this second line that's kind of developing out in front. The good thing about this is that if a line like this does develop out in front of our greater line, that this can kind of eat up some of that fuel for that thunderstorm. So this line behind it could weaken as well. So we could have, instead of a little bit of a weaker and then a stronger thunderstorm line, this could eat up some of that fuel, and then this one, as it moves into the atmosphere, could fizzle out because it doesn't have that fuel and that humidity to build off of as well. So we'll take one more closer look in at this severe thunderstorm warning. It doesn't look like anybody's been dropped from it just yet, but once again, if you are on the backside of this, there's no more severe weather headed our way. This line is all that we're dealing with tonight. So you can see lots of lightning bolts and lots of lightning strikes out there, but the good thing is that this, compared to some of our supercell thunderstorms that we could see, is not a whole lot. So lots of lightning would indicate, once again, lots of larger hail. So not seeing as much lightning is not a bad thing. So it does look like Lindale may be getting some hail, could be smaller hail. I'll have Sarah click on that and we'll take a look and see if our Titan indicator says anything. Sometimes it takes a second to pop up. There we go. Okay, so maybe 3/4 of an inch sized hail it could be, and wind impact relatively strong. So we're seeing some gusty winds out there. Flooding impact is going to be pretty low on all of these systems because this line is so thin and moving pretty quickly. So once again, if you're joining us pretty soon, or if you've been joining us in the past couple of minutes, this line of storms, flooding is not a real threat. Maybe we're looking at 1/4 to 1/2 inch of rainfall for this system. So we're just going to take a wider look one more time. We're probably going to jump off here in the next couple of minutes, but we just wanted to show you this one more time. Earlier today, we did have a thunderstorm warning that was moving out of Texas. That has since expired too. So far, this has been our only warning of the night. And of course, we'll continue to keep you updated here. And if we need to cut into programming on air, we of course will do that. I want to check in one more time with Sarah Blue and see if you have any updates before we go. Sarah, do you see anything from the National Weather Service over the next couple of minutes? Have you seen any updates, or if there's anything that you want to add?
Thanks, Savannah. Well, we haven't gotten any updates from the National Weather Service. Right now, though, what I want to go is zoom back into where we're seeing that severe thunderstorm warning. And I'm going to see if we can see how quickly it's going. I'm going to throw our velocity on it. So this tells us how quickly it's moving, and it tells you which direction it's moving. So green is moving toward our weather station. Right now we're picking up off of Alexandria. So it's going to start to kind of move a little bit. We're going to see areas in the green are moving quicker than areas in the red. So if we go back to our reflectivity, that means that this bowing type that we're seeing, the areas out toward Crockett, let me see if I can point to this. All right, there we go. Areas out toward Crockett, where you can see I have this highlighted arrow, are going to start moving quicker. Same out toward Tyler. So this nice arching section that we're seeing is going to become a little bit more flat. So instead of going like this, it's going to go more like that as it continues to push out to the east. We're going to put this back in play real fast. Overall, it is a very quick moving storm, which means it'll get on you very quickly. And then once it clears out, you'll be pretty much in the clear if you're out behind that. So that's out to the west. I'm going to zoom back in real fast. All right, it looks like we are still going to see that severe thunderstorm warning continue. We have about 15 minutes left on that as we head through the rest of the evening. Again, with this, we're tracking some gusty winds, some hail, and some damaging wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour, as noted by the National Weather Service. We're looking at quarter-sized hail there, so that could cause an impact to your vehicles. The 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, again, could rip off some of your roof shingles, or could kind of damage some of the trees in your area. It's moving pretty quickly, again, at about 50 miles per hour. I'm going to go ahead and put our storm track back on this. So it's coming at about 50 miles per hour up to the northeast there. All right, that is right around 50 miles per hour. So Tyler, we're going to get to the bulk of the storm here pretty quickly in the next 10 minutes or so. Gilmer, next maybe 15. White House, I expect you to see this line of storms moving in right around 3:30. Again, though, this is only if we see the storm continuing at the same rate. It does look like areas to the south of I-20, are accelerating a little bit quicker than we saw to areas up to the north. So we'll keep an eye on that, of course, for you. I'm going to zoom back into the cell out toward Nacogdoches right now. I'm not seeing anything that raises concern currently in this. I think just some disorganized thunderstorms. Watch out for a couple of downbursts with that, so you might get a couple of blasts of wind there. We're also tracking some hail with it. It doesn't look like it's quite as large as what we saw in areas up to the north. But we are still seeing decently sized hail, so you don't want to be outside in that. I know that it's early in the morning, so hopefully you guys are staying inside with this storm as it continues. But overall, you don't want to be outside in it. Of course, here at CBS19, we are going to keep you updated every step of the way. So with that, I think that we're going to hop off stream here, but tune into our mobile app, CBS19, or tune into our Facebook page, and we'll give you all of the latest updates. And of course, if something more severe does happen, we'll go ahead and break into programming for you to make sure that you are staying weather aware. Thanks for joining us.